Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I think it's time that I tell you guys what's actually been happening, what's about to happen, and the future of this channel and myself as we go forward. So let's get on to this video. So as many of you guys will know, since I come back to YouTube, you would have seen that I bought a 987 Boxster S, a 911 Carrera S, and many of you guys are questioning, when am I going to be buying more BMWs? And I know, many of you are questioning that and asking that a lot is purely because obviously this is a BMW channel and I've obviously changed things up. Now you would have seen, I did purchase a 130i. That now is completely off the road. I'm paid out for it and I'm looking to buy another car. I ain't going to get into the reasons here, but that car is gone. I didn't no longer want it. Selling it was a complete nightmare, just wasn't worth selling. So yeah, I've been paid out for that and now I'm looking to purchase another car. That one you won't be seeing again on this channel. But I do want to get into obviously what my reasons were for leaving the BMW scene. One of them was purely because obviously I've had enough of dealing with BMW. Now you guys know I can do them all. I already had an F series, accomplished it. E-series, accomplish it, and even if you go older, it gets even easier for me and it's not something I want to be doing. Not only that, I wanted change. I wanted to change to something different. Now that all being said, obviously I've still got the 530i, and as I did say to many of you guys, that car ain't going nowhere because it doesn't owe me anything and it's not worth selling to someone else in the community to have. It's a car that I'd rather just keep for myself, fix it. It's not got much wrong with it now. Now, obviously, behind this camera, I've obviously got other vehicles in here as well in the shop that I'm obviously repairing. Bits are everywhere over the floor there, obviously. Not gonna show you because that's not my car and that's not my vehicle. So it's not for me to pull it on the camera unless the owner wants me to, but I won't be doing that anyway. Now, I just wanna get my point across as to why I haven't been doing BMW and I have no intentions to go back. Many of you are going to agree with me, many of you will not, but these are my simple reasons for it. If many of you guys don't know me and you are new to this channel, you will know I've been in this trade since I was 15 years old, dealing with cars, specifically BMW. I've been dealing with them cars since 15 years old. I'm about to hit 35 years old. That's a very, very long time to be dealing in one brand. That is why I know so much on the brand and that's why I was so loyal to the brand. But obviously, as you age, your mindset changes, you change, you want better things, you want finer things in life. Obviously, I was blessed and fortunate enough to be able to buy two Porsches. They both come up at the right time, my Boxster being my neighbour selling it because he couldn't afford the repairs, and the 911, my friend got rid of it because obviously the bore score and he didn't have the money to go out and spend on a rebuild and he thought it wasn't worth it for him. Now, obviously, I bought them on basically a whim. It was just like right price, right time. I said I wanted one, next thing, one fell in my lap. I didn't expect it to fall in my lap like that and definitely not for that price because many of you guys know finding a 911 for 10 grand is literally near impossible because they just don't go for that even broken. But this one just happened to come. I wanted one, I was blessed, fortunate to have one, and it seems everything I seem to ask for in this day and age, as soon as I say I want it, it just seems to miraculously come to me. I don't know how, don't know where from. As soon as I say it, it's like you look for it and it's there, right in front of your face. But on to BMW, yes, the reason I've stopped doing BMW is purely because in this country, in the UK, it's not like it is in Germany and all around the EU and in the US, for instance. BMW here is a very, 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 very cheap car. When I talk about cheap, because we've got all the different varieties engine, be it the M42, M46, N43, N47, that downplays all the other higher desirable models. And obviously with the cost of living crisis, when people struggling to afford to live as it is, more and more people are opting for 2-litre diesels, 2-litre petrols, because they think it's going to be more economical, when in reality it's not, because it costs them more in the repairs in the long run. And then people have that illusion that BMW is completely unreliable because they think they actually owned a BMW that isn't actually a BMW. But in their world and their fantasy, they think that's the best BMW, because, they think that the 3 litre is going to drink too much fuel, they can't afford the insurance or road tax. but that also holds the prices down on the 3 litres, the 5 litre, you know, the V8s, all of them, including the V10s. Now in the UK, I want to put it very bluntly here, most people are selling E60s for 3 grand, 2 grand. You can find BMWs all day long on eBay, on Gumtree. People are struggling to sell them. And that's not just me, there's videos even out on YouTube. I was watching, funny enough, a guy the other day who flips cars, and even he said he had a BMW and it was one of the hardest cars he had ever sold in his life. And he flips cars all day long, Vauxhalls, Fords, Mazdas, and the BMW was one of the hardest cars. Not only did he have a load of messes, people offering him low money, you know, and he, like he said, he will never get involved in another one in his life, and no, he bought the car cheap. Here, they are very cheap, and bearing in mind I've been in the trade for a very, very long time, I never look to keep cars. I only choose to keep cars that are gonna go up in value like every year. Now, many of you are gonna say, but the M5 would go up in value, but I'm not talking about 20 years. I don't want a car that's gonna go up in value in 20 years, 30 years time, and that's not even guaranteed, because when you look at the price of them here, in the UK, I can pick one up tomorrow for 12 grand, 12 and 13 grand. And when I say 13 grand, I mean £13,000, which is about $15,000. I'm not interested in a car like that. In the time I owned it, the prices still haven't moved on E60 M5s. The only ones that are high priced are the ones that are in very low mileage, LCI models, and spec'd highly. But even then, people are living in a dream world, because they're never going to get 30 grand for that car, because nobody wants it. And that's the pure fact of it. And I know many people ain't going to like the truth of that, but it is the truth. They are never going to sell that car for 30 grand. For 30 grand, I'll go and buy a 911 or a 997.2, or I just had 20 grand more and go and buy a 997 turbo. That's the way I see it, and that's why nobody will pay that for an E60 M5. It's a novelty car. Yes, the V10 is very, very nice indeed, but it's not worth £30,000, not for me anyway. And this is the issue you've got. When I see E60s online, which I'll show you guys in a minute, what the proof in the pudding here of this with the E60s, and also all the other cars, the 1 Series and everything you can buy for 2 grand, 1 grand, 3 grand. When you work out, that's the value of that car, and this is traders selling it at that price. That is the actual value of the car. How can you guys expect me to go and buy a car for 3 grand and invest 2 grand into it, and I'm never gonna come back out ahead? It doesn't make sense. There's being passionate, and then there's being an idiot. And I'm not an idiot, that's one thing I'm definitely not. You know, obviously, yes, this is a BMW channel, you guys own BMWs, but I'm not stupid to be going out there to buy BMWs to then lose money on them, because I'm gonna spend 2 grand to then resell it for 3 grand. Doesn't make any sense. Even the 6 Series I had, I actually sold that very cheap because I wanted it gone, because I had no reason for it. The 6 Series is gone, that went for 3 grand. I actually sold that very, very cheap, because I just wanted it out of my way. You know, at the end of the day, I paid very cheap for it. You guys only paid my friend £500 for it. I come out on top. Now, if I could buy them all day long for that price, £500, I would come out ahead. But unfortunately, you can't, because the person selling it doesn't want to give you too cheaper, because they paid so much money for it. You don't want to give them so much money because you know what it needs. They seem to think their car's perfect, which in reality it's really not. Just because it drives fine does not mean everything is fine. So then you're at a loss. I don't want to give 3 grand for them cars. I don't want to give 10 grand for them cars. It's just not worth it. Now, I know many of you are sitting there thinking, but I gave 10 grand for a broken Porsche, but that's a different story. A 911 at 10 grand, even if I put 10 grand in, I still sold this for 32 grand. Now, bearing in mind, the guy who actually bought this car is going to be on the video very soon with me while we're rebuilding the engine. So I know you guys are probably thinking, he hasn't sold that for 32 grand. Well, I can assure you right now I have. And that's why the guy's going to be coming and doing a video on me once we rebuild the engine, because he wants to hear it first run, and he's going to be able to drive it. It's going to be him driving it once we rebuilt it, to do the braking service as well. So you guys will get to see that. But yes, that car is sold, and that's what I mean. That's worth money, you know, and now it means I can go and get whatever else I want thereafter. BMW, on the other hand, there is no money to be made. And obviously I've got to think about, you know, where the money's going to come from and what cars are going to make me the money when I'm spending. This 911 is an investment. Everything I've spent on there, even 13 grand in parts, I only paid 10 grand for the car. So therefore, I'm only in at 23 grand. I'm still in the big profit here. I haven't lost. The Boxster, I paid very, very cheap for as well. I gave my neighbour 5 grand for this, and in total it only cost me £1,500 control arms, and then the £600 for the coolant pipes, 2 grand in total. So I'm in at about 7 grand on this car. 7 grand on a Boxster S. Find me one for that cheap anywhere, especially the 3.4. You won't find it absolutely anywhere. And I can tell you that for sure right now. But that's what I mean. These cars just keep climbing in value year upon year upon year. And I will follow the graphs because I've been in the trade. I've got full access, so I'm watching the graphs. And every month the graph moves up with Porsche. BMW on the other hand is dipping down. And I know many of you guys, the S65, the S85 are your dream cars, the M3, E90 M3, E92 M3, E60 M5. For me, it wasn't a dream car. I'm happy I owned it. I feel very privileged to have owned it. But I did everything I could on that car and it was time to move on. It wasn't a car I was ever planning to keep. I like cars that hold value and are only going to increase in price as time goes on. Not a car that we're all living in a fantasy world hoping it's going to increase. And you know, you're seeing these people, these crazy people who are putting their cars up for 20 grand, trying to encourage everyone else to put them up for 20 grand to increase the price. But there is a lot of people out there who are realistic. They want the car gone. They don't want to put it up for 20 grand and wait 20 years. There's people on eBay, which I'll show you again in a minute on the video, that are trying to sell these E60 M5s for 25, 29 grand. And I can tell you right now, there's one on eBay right now, red one. And the guy has been trying to sell that since I owned my one for like the last 3 years for that price. And he hasn't got it. Not at all. 3 years he's been trying to sell it for that price. And I think it's 28 grand he wants for it. And he could not sell it. 3 years. And I know because of the number plate. It's very identical, you know, you can't miss it. And because it's got low mileage and he thinks it's an LCR, he thinks he's gonna get that price for it. He won't. He's crazy. Because like I said, even me, I think very real. If I had that type of money, I'm gonna go and buy a 997. It's a much better car, a much better performing car. It performs better on the track. It's just a much better car altogether. Regardless of the engine fault with bore score, there is hundreds of companies that are willing to repair that. And you know what? There is a much stronger community for the Porsche than there is for BMW. I actually enjoy the Porsche community. And as I said to many of you guys, the Porsche community has been the only community in my life, honestly, that I have ever joined, ever took participation in, ever gone to meets, ever gone anywhere. You know, I'm not really a morning person, but for the Porsche Club, I get up in the morning and I go to the Cars and Coffee meet with the Porsches. On a Sunday, sometimes on a Saturday they do it. It just depends. But I never did that in BMW. I had no interest at all to go to any of the meets there. And that's purely because I had no interest in the car. I had no interest in the people who are into BMW. It's just it's not my thing. As I'm getting older, I'm becoming wiser. And obviously I want to be of the finer people in life. I'm not interested. The majority of people who drive BMW are very young, immature. That's not for me. With the Porsche community, it's not like that. It's all grown men. And you know, they're very loyal and passionate for the brand. And that's what I like, you know. And there's a lot of people, like they all said to me, they had BMW once, never again. And I get why that is. Once you drive a Porsche, many of you won't understand until you drive one. That's why I tell many of you guys, do not, whatever you do, go to a dealer's and drive a Porsche, because driving your BMW back, you will be crying that you never got that car, or you can't afford to get that car, or they won't take your car in Part X for it. Because most dealers wouldn't even take a BMW in Part X for a Porsche. And that's the God's honest truth. And trust me, I know that very, very well. They will not take a BMW against a Porsche. They'll want a lot of money on top because of how hard they are to shift. Dealers will tell you that. Private sellers will tell you that. BMW is one of the hardest cars to shift, especially here in the UK. But let me get onto the computer and let me show you what I mean by all these BMWs are very, very cheap here. And many of you are gonna say, this, that, the other, you can buy them. But I'm not, like I said to you, I'm not gonna give anybody them prices when I know these cars need a lot of work doing to them and you're not gonna come out ahead. It's not a car, they're never cars I'm gonna ever wanna keep or think, oh yeah, I'm gonna keep them and use them. I wouldn't. Even the 5 Series don't even get used. And obviously, everyone I know has now gone to the VAG group, be it even family members, you know, my sister drives Audi. I just bought my wife a brand new Volkswagen Tiguan R-Line. So that's a 69 plate, you know, with 40K on it. So, you know, that's what she wanted and that's what I bought her. So now we've got that as well. And as I said, I'm waiting to get paid out for the 1 Series to buy another car. And like I said, guys, I have no interest in BMW. I don't know why that is. Just, you know, once you do Porsche, you've got no reason to really go back to BMW. That's like a downgrade now. And many of you guys will already know that. Many of you loyal ones that follow me will already know BMW for me is now going to be a downgrade. You know, I can't even sit in a BM. That's why I wanted rid of the 130i as well. And I just want to answer another question that I get asked all the time. And that's, do you repair customers' cars? I get 10 to 20 emails a day about this and questions on my comments. You know, when I've commented to someone asking me, do I do quotes or work? I don't. I get many of you guys are having problems finding a dealer or specialist that can repair your electrical faults, can do this, can do that. I don't get involved in repairing customers' cars. I have no interest in repairing BMWs, none whatsoever. If you've got a Porsche on the other hand, come and talk to me. I've got more than enough time to speak to you regarding your Porsche. and I'm willing to repair it for you as well. That's not even an issue. Most of the time, you know, I will look at it, probably won't even charge you either for it, because simple fact being, they're very, very easy cars. If it is something minor, I'll fix it for you as well, providing you get the part. If you guys have electrical faults on your BMW and you're struggling with it, you can join the membership program, which also gives you access to me on Telegram and a load of other techs that are on the Telegram group. You've also got a lot of member videos you will not see on this channel that will also help a lot of you with your electrical faults and problems on your BMWs. That's what they're there for on the membership only. When you guys, most of the faults you guys are asking me for that can't be diagnosed by garages are actually on the membership. The reason you can't see them, you're not a member and you can't find them unless you're a member. Go and join the membership page, and I guarantee you most of your faults that you guys asked me to bring the car to me for, you'll be able to fix through the membership page. And if not, you can join the Telegram group, and you've got all of us there, which is me and another 2 specialists that are willing to answer your questions and help you. And most of them will even remotely log into you and help you sort your issues. So let's get on and I'll show you the price of these BMWs. Hey guys, so as you'll see here, I've got eBay loaded up in front of me. And the reason I'm using eBay is because this is the place that majority of people in the UK use to buy cars. And obviously I did say to you, I'm going to show you the proof, because I don't want you guys thinking I'm lying or telling you fibs just so I don't have to buy more BMWs. I'm going to show you the price of them, and you will get to understand why I have no interest in buying these cars. Now, there is people that do have interest in buying them on YouTube, and that's purely because they don't have the funds to buy anything else. So BMW is like the cheapest of the cheapest cars you can buy in the UK. You know, you can buy a BMW for the same price as a Ford and a Vauxhall. You know, and that is the mentality. And I'll show you what the cars we get here like. I'll show you the price of a Vauxhall and the price of a Ford compared to a BMW, and you'll see exactly what I mean. And you'll see why people end up making their choice based on, you know, what they believe is better. So if we just go and punch in here BMW, and you can see here how cheap car prices are cheap priced, and you can see here this E39. That guy's asking for 5,750. He's never going to get that. This guy's been trying to sell that for the last 2 years. You can see here an E61 530D. Spares and repairs on 183k, £1,300. You'd be lucky if that even gets £2,000. Obviously, this is a rarity. It's a 330i turbo for 8,000. That might get that, but you know, for me, it's just not worth it. You can see here all the different cars. You got a 330i E46 for 3,900. You know, you've got M3s here, which is the LCR one 2011 for 18,000. You know, and these cars are sitting here and not even being bought. You've also got a 7 Series here, you can see LW long wheelbase 745 2,750. This M6 here has been on here even before I was selling mine. This guy, I feel so sorry for him. He's got it up for 16,995. I think he even lowered it before to 14,995. Still struggling to sell it, and he's going to always struggle to sell it. Nobody's going to buy that car. You know, this guy, the guy who actually purchased mine actually said he was going to buy this one before mine, but it was because it didn't have everything done. And obviously he's had an engine overhaul because I think the engine grenaded, which was why the guy ended up buying mine, not this one, because he wanted everything original. So that's hence the reason why he's struggling to sell it. Nobody's going to buy that. You can see an M135i 2014, it's on 32k, and you can see the price is literally under 10 grand. It's absolutely ridiculous. You've got here a 2017 4 Series 435D, 11 grand. You know, a 2008 520D M Sport Touring, 158k, 2 grand. And this is what I mean, guys. You factor in this price right here, 2,790. He'd probably take 2,500 for this car. But then by the time you spend money on this, it's an M47 engine, probably needs timing chain, doing the guides. By the time you've done all that, you're in at what, 2 grand, 3 grand? The car ain't even worth that. You have to be passionate about it to spend that type of money. You can see we've got another 1 Series 2016 for 6 grand. 116D, M Sport, you know, look at this, X5 2004, because it's a diesel and because of what's happening in London with the ULEZ, 1,400 quid, you know, literally less than £1,500, I can go buy myself an E53. You know, you've got this right here, 550 V8, it's probably going to go for about 7 grand, but it's an 07 plate. You got this here, 330 ISE. Now that's one of the cheapest ones, as I've told many of you guys all the time. This is what you guys get in the US. It's SE spec, not M Sport. So it's basically just like your versions in the US. This is going to go very cheap because it's an SE. And being the 2005, it's got the M52. It's probably going to go for about 2.5 grand. The Alpine D3 Touring, and you can see it's 4.5 grand. It's probably a replica at that price. You've also got a 325i M Sport 2,950, and bear in mind that's an E92, 142. M135i again, 7,600. You know, the prices are absolutely ridiculous for these cars. And you can't give this type of money for a car and not come out ahead. It doesn't make sense. You know, this clown here trying to sell this for £27,000 for an F10 M5 is never going to get that. He's going to keep dreaming. But you just get to idea of everything that I'm showing you here. Look, 640D, 11 grand. So guys, as you've seen, I've now shown you why I have no interest in coming back to BMW at all. As I said to you, this channel isn't empty of BMWs. I've still got my 530i, which I will be bringing in once this 911 gets out of here, because I need to bring it into this space, and, you know, and leave it in here so I can sort out everything it needs doing. We have still got that, and who knows, I might even start doing it even before that. But I have no interest in buying any more other BMWs. The 530i, the reason I'm keeping it, as I said, it owes me nothing and everything's been done on it, so it doesn't need anything. And therefore, it's just a car I'm planning to keep, use and keep on this channel for you guys, because that's the main car that many of you guys have got, and that's the reason many of you guys actually found me is for the E60. I know there's a lot of you for the F-Series as well, but there won't be no more F-Series on here unless, you know, ones are going to come up for £1,000 or £2,000, where I'm going to come out ahead. If I'm not going to come out ahead on them, I won't be buying them. It's very, very simple. Obviously, Porsches, on the other hand, I will buy them all day long. But again, they have to come up at the right price, you know, and if they do come up at the right price, I will snatch that before a BMW, purely because I know flipping it, even keeping it, it's only going to hold its value. It doesn't matter what I do, keep it today, keep it next year it goes up, next month it goes up, you know, they just boom up out of the blue. That's why I like Porsche. But as I said, guys, you've now got to see the price of the cars here. I know I've told many of you guys many, many times how cheap they are here, but I've never actually got to show you. So that's why I thought, you know what, let's show you guys what I actually mean, how cheap these cars are, so you guys actually get a drift of what I'm actually saying is the truth. Because I know in Germany, a lot of other EU countries, they are not that price. In Sweden, you know, I know they're expensive because people are bringing them from here and selling them over there for like a load of money. But that's why they do that, because the prices here are very, very cheap. So thank you very much for watching, guys. And I'm sorry I had to be very blunt about this situation, but as I said, I get a lot of messages daily asking if I'm going to be coming back, if I'm doing BMW, what one I'm planning on buying next, if I want to buy that one, will I repair their car? And the answer is no. As I said to you, I don't have time to repair other people's cars. I have no interest in the brand. If you're bringing your car to me, you need to take it to someone who's enthusiastic about it, who wants to do it. I have no interest in that car whatsoever or that brand. So thank you very much for watching, guys. BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.